Hey, 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 welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to the channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Never force anything. Also know on this channel, if you're new to it, that it has a therapy style. So I like to not just look and see what your person did do, what they're going to do, but we like to look at the spiritual blocks, the shadows, and also see how they play out as karmic themes. So the readings tend to be more on the negative side because we're deliberately looking for the shadows. And the reason why is because a lot of times it's not about whether our person cares about us or has feelings for us. That's not what it's about. It's about why is our person acting the way that they are if they do have feelings for us. We want to know that because a lot of times we'll take it personally. And what you'll notice is that a person will treat you a certain way that will trigger you and that will trigger you to look at deep wounds. They'll make you feel a certain way. And so it's the way that we handle the situation a lot of times that makes it karmic. It's not necessarily there's many different realities that play out at one time. Your level of consciousness depends on your core beliefs, and that's what's going to determine your actions, and that's going to be what actually determines your karma. But we also know that it's our environment that creates our reality because we have formed behaviorisms and habits that are in alignment with the environment. So if you grew up in an environment that wasn't safe, then what happens is you perceive that it's not safe. And so your behaviorisms are going to be in alignment with that. And a lot of times it's what created support that when you were younger, because you lived in a certain environment that will actually block you from manifesting what it is that you actually want. Because it's all about learning, seeing things from a different perception, integrating the spiritual lesson. All right, now if you don't understand, just follow along and you will. Like the video, subscribe to the channel if you again resonate. Also, I want to thank all my new and old subscribers. Thanks for the love. Thanks for all the likes, shares, and subscribes, and your comments. I love your comments. I just wanted to let you guys know that. And also know really fast in the description box, you will find my wait list link. The wait list link is if you are someone that needs shadow healing, you want to heal your emotional blocks, your spiritual blocks that are keeping you stuck in limitation, in a place of disempowerment and fear, which is again going to be what pushes away anything that you really desire into your life. Well, then you need to sign up for my wait list. Sign on to the wait list. All you got to do is click on the link in the description box and you will be notified for the great reveal. And the great reveal is I've been working on something for a really long time to help people heal the effects of their trauma. And again, the effects of trauma are the behaviorisms, the habits that are subconscious that block us from our wealth, our good health, and all around really emotional fulfillment, because relationships are next to impossible when we have a lot of trauma, again, because we were conditioned in an environment. So, like I said, if you're someone that needs healing, now's the time to act. Again, to go to that link. Also wanted to give a quick shout out to my favorite jewelry company, Otter Spirit. And Otter Spirit, they make crystal jewelry, and I like crystal jewelry because again, crystals bring you the medicine that you need, the psychological and the emotional medicine. Just like if we were utilizing totems for healing, we would know that whatever the spirit animal is, the totem holds medicine, and the medicine is the character of the animal that a lot of times people need to integrate in order to create balance, depending on whatever the animal is. I know I always get things like elk, because elk are really grounded and slow, and I hate that energy, but there's always the energy that we don't like that we need. So crystals work the same exact way. I got the grief set. They come in many different types of sets. And so, you know, when you wear it, it aligns your body to the energies, and understand your energy is always supposed to be vibrating at the same vibration as Earth, which is the Om. Well, a lot of times when we're stressed out and when we're, you know, then we're vibrating at a different vibration. So your crystals will help you again align and balance your energies. And you might say, well, I don't really believe in that because I never believed in it. I'm not going to lie, until I worked with them. And what you realize is sometimes it's just like wearing it, and then you look down at them and it reminds you of the energy that needs to be incorporated into your life. And I think subconsciously they work like a vision board, right? When we want to manifest in our life, how do you manifest? When you don't want control, when you don't have attachment towards something. Attachment means fear. When we have an attachment in a relationship, it means that we feel that there's something that's lacking inside of us. Well, it's the same thing with anything that we utilize outside of ourselves, because we feel that we need it, that we don't feel like we're whole without it. And so it's understanding what needs to be integrated in order to see yourself differently. That's what it's about. Now, I don't know where it was going with that. I don't even know. I think I got sidetracked a little bit. Dinging's going off. I hope you guys heard that. All right. Now, if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write the word of the video in your comment bar. The word of the video will always also be in the description box with all other important information. All right. If you forget, otherwise you can rewind the video, but that tends to be a real pain in the ass. I've tried to do it. Trust me. And then you can't find it. It's annoying. All right. The word of the video is trauma. No, ironic is that I used my inner child cards by accident. I wasn't paying attention. I feel like I'm not as grounded today. You know, I'm not gonna lie. Not grounded. And I feel like the energy that I'm tapped into is someone that's not grounded. And when we're not grounded, a lot of times it's obvious because we're in the future or we're stuck in the past. And I feel like you're connected to someone that is like re-experiencing something that is activating a lot of their trauma. So they're going through a dark night of the soul. In short, that's what that means. But a dark night of the soul only happens when everything that wasn't built on unconditioned love, on truth, falls apart. So I believe that this person wore facade. They created facade. They wore masks. They weren't really true who they were as a person. I don't really believe that they know who they are as a person. And what has happened is that I'm feeling like they were very codependent. And they were very codependent, not just towards one person, but to a lot of people. And they spread themselves thin. And then it was almost like it was expected for this person to carry the load of everyone. And so they can't do it. So what they're realizing is it's almost like they backed themselves into a wall, and it's because they didn't make anyone happy, including themselves. And so this person is reliving trauma because I feel like whatever they built or perceive that they built is actually like crumbling. And they're watching it. They're watching everything fall apart. And it's, like I said, activating trauma. Now we're going to see what this person was like. But I'm kind of feeling like this person was not a good person. So we're going to look and see. We're mixing up the cards today, and I don't know why Spirit's saying, no, take this deck. No, so we're going to take the triggers. Oh my God. Trauma. Like goes to like. You're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. So I'm feeling like you are connected to someone that actually activated your trauma. That's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling like this person was supposed to be a soulmate and someone that I feel that you thought was supposed to be there for you, was supposed to be in your life, was supposed to show you some sort of support. And I actually feel like they led you on to believe that that's what they wanted to. And so the unresolved trauma is that you have abandonment issues. This person has abandonment issues too, but they also have self-sabotaging behavior. And I feel like you grew up with someone that also had self-sabotaging behavior. So this is the underlining energy. Trauma. Trauma is running the show, and that's not good. And I'm going to tell you why it's not good, because when we are living in our trauma, then we're living in survival mode. We're no longer present. We are not. So if you're expecting that this person's going to all of a sudden come to you and become no, I feel like the tower moment is happening now. The walls, the illusions are coming down. The ego is finally coming down. That's what's happening. And so that's awakening this person's trauma, but in that they're not there for you. And they haven't been there for you. And that is what's activated your trauma. And again, your person gave up too much of their power. And now that they wanted to actually come towards you, they really can't. I feel like they also, they didn't just do that, but they're the type of person that tends to constrain themselves. This person has a very low self-esteem. And I feel like that's what happens with trauma, right? When we go through traumatic experiences, we look at ourselves as if there's something wrong with us. We feel as if we're defective. We detach, we disassociate from ourselves. And this is a story that I feel like you both are mirroring each other, but it's like this person didn't mean to traumatize you. They're immature, but they didn't realize the depth of what they did. And it's because they're constrained. They give up too much of their power. They can't think for themselves. Very codependent. Attachment. This would be that this person got into a relationship with a person that they formed an attachment to, or they have family members that they have an attachment to. It's an unhealthy connection, and it's based on need, and it's based on submission, and it's based on dominance, where one person has control and the other person doesn't. So your person always tended to act like they had commitment issues. Well, this is because they keep reliving the same karmic cycles. And that's what happens when we have trauma. So I feel like you're someone that keeps reliving this same experiences of no one's ever there for me. No one ever shows up for me. This person wasn't there for me. They don't know how to show me emotionally what I need. There's a real lack. And again, this person, I feel like, yes, they did create illusions about who they are, but I'm feeling because living in a dream world, and that popped out to me. This is, you create your own hell. Don't let thoughts control you, where your person does let thoughts control them. But what popped out at me is living in a dream world, that you and this person have a very strong spiritual connection, like in the 5D, like psychic connection, ESP, through the heart and mind, past life, karmic, mate. And that's what I feel, because there's a strong psychic connection and spiritual, and happens when you have trauma and you disconnect from yourself. You tend to be very psychic. This person has never had a connection like the one that they have with you, with anyone. So when I tap into them, I almost feel like I don't have to do anything, you're my property. Not as if that they're actually saying that, but it's almost like you're mine. Like everyone knows that we're going to be together. Yeah. I might not be around now, but everyone knows that we're going to be together. It's like, I don't really have to, like, you'll always be there for me because of who you are. It's not who I am, but it's who you are. And so the illusions is that this person lives in a dreamland like that. They don't have to put any effort in, and that it's okay to treat you bad. And that's what they're realizing. They're realizing that that's what they thought. It's okay. And that's why their thoughts are starting to control them. And when a person's thoughts are controlling them and they can't do anything, and what it looks like here is that this person is constrained by people in their life, so they feel like they can't do anything, but they really can, because no one is really holding us back, and no one really has a gun saying you can't do anything. I mean, that might happen, but the majority of times it's not what happens, and it's not what is happening in this story. This person is terrified to actually do what they need to do because trauma will do that. It makes a person stuck in the fight, flight, or freeze. There's a thing that's called stuck in stupid, and this person is stuck in stupid. It's like, so you're sitting there and being that they're stuck in stupid, that they're not even realizing, like, or they're slow to the dinner table per se, meaning they're like finally under getting it, but it's like a long time later. Understand is that they're on a low vibration. They're on a low vibration because of their trauma. They haven't healed their trauma. They have been constrained. They've been letting people control their life. So it's, again, this person did have feelings for you. But that's the thing. Every time this person tries to go and venture into their own life, well, mystically, there's obstacles in this person's way. Delays. Eventually you'll give up. We'll wear you down. It's like, and that's what happens. When we're stuck in trauma, what is this psychologically? It's emotionally. For this person, it's the fact that they have such a low self-esteem that they don't realize that they have the power at any time to leave. That, yes, they're moving into the unknown, but that's the thing with trauma. People are afraid of the unknown. That's why it's a root chakra imbalance. This person created stability through creating the illusions. And again, this is where that came from, the illusions also of what they wanted people to perceive about them. But is that them? No, healing's an inside job. So it's, again, this person is stuck in this trauma where everyone turns into the bad person, like the betrayal. So they're stuck in stupid because what they're awakening to is that the people that are around them really right now are not, they don't have this person's best interest at hand, and they're either family, they're people that they considered family, they're people that, and it's almost like who are you? Who am I? What's happening to me? And I feel like, again, there's a lot of consequences for this person for being not aware, not awake of who they were surrounding themselves with and who they were giving time, energy, focus, money to. Understand the resources. Once we're invested, we get caught up in the investment. I don't want to lose my investment. So if this person had a business with family, well, guess what? They lost it. It's like whatever they had, it's like they now do not have. And so when there's a sense now that I feel you're like, yeah, of course now you're going to come and search for me. Now that you don't have anything, now that, and this person knows it. That's the thing. They know that they're coming back to you with pretty much nothing. And I feel like for a long time you were like, and I'm angry because for a long time I searched for you, but you deliberately didn't come to me. It's like this person felt like they couldn't come to you. And that's where we need to be clear that trauma comes out as poor character, but not all the time because a person wants to be shady. Sometimes it's because they're in survival mode. It's because they're stuck in a trauma. And this person continues to relive the same types of karmic experiences because, again, they form attachments. And that's what I was telling you. It's like, and so that's all they also know is attachment, because trauma will do that. We feel again that there's something wrong with us, so we detach, we disassociate from. And so what spirit is saying is you would have also formed an attachment to this person because the dynamic of the connection. So this brought up trauma within inside of you, yes, but so that you could look at it. Otherwise, you wouldn't, if it would have worked out, you wouldn't have looked at the trauma. You just would have went into the relationship and the dynamic of the connection where this person has had trauma and hasn't, doesn't love themselves, obviously looks for things outside of them to create that emotional connection. And then you would have given because you abandonment issues. But then what you would have created was the same exact karmic cycle where this person eventually would have been like, oh, like not really, like they've come in to with that attachment, but they don't want that attachment. That's the thing. No one wants to stay that way. When you're insecure, you come in and you try and create permanence by love bombing and almost like selling the farm per se. And then what happens is it's like this person's not in love, they were in lust. And so attachments come from also that. And that's what would have happened because, again, this person is not in their power. They're letting people take their power. So where are they getting their power from? You got to take it from, again, outside things. And that's where attachment happens. So what I'm feeling is like that it never played out, but there's still a spiritual connection. And we want to see like what's going on with this person. Are they like getting out of their situation? Are they healing? Are they doing, I mean, sometimes the relationship, you're not supposed to be with the person. Sometimes it's you're just the catalyst. Other times you are the person that they realize that they want to be with. I mean, it can go any which way, to be honest with you. So let's take a peek. And this is, again, right now, they're like in victim mentality, again, which they're not seeing why their life is always repeating. And that's what spirit is saying. Spirit is saying, yeah, they're going through the trauma, absolutely, but they're stuck in stupid. So are they looking at how they treated you? Yes, but there's a lot of confusion around it. They, again, are a little bit in denial about what happened fully. And they're in a victim mentality about what's going on with them. It's all about them. So do they feel bad? It's like, yes, but they feel more bad about themselves and what they're going through. Yeah, and there's a sense of like like this person feels like you moved on. They feel as if they know that they weren't there for you. They know that there was a void, again, that they separated from you, that you've been lonely and you created a new life without them. This is like what they see. That's what they see. And it's because they're like, I don't know how I'm going to get out of this. And I haven't been there for you. But again, it's not to feel bad. It's that I'm in this person's so much in their trauma of what that it's like they haven't even begun. It's like the tower has fallen or is in the process of falling, and this person is surrounded by a bunch of enemies, like they're Judas, like everyone's stabbing them. That's what it looks like. And they're in shock that everyone's doing this, especially these people. And then again, do they look and see what they did to you? I'm feeling like not as much, because again, their entire life is coming to like an end. The version of whoever they thought the fuck that they were is not that person anymore. It's the mask is off. And all the ugly that this person hates about themselves is like right there, right there for everybody to see. So they're reliving shame, which is the trauma. Okay, that's the trauma. This person's in it. Look at their face. They're like, oh my God. And that's so they're going through this whole thing. So and I say, did they think about it? They're like, you've moved on, you have a new life. Because everything kept getting delayed, like I said, delayed. Like every time this person was trying to come towards you, they just kept getting delayed, like problems, more problems, more problems, more problems. And that's because whoever was attached to them was like, oh no, you're not going to move on and have a good life, like. And I don't feel like it was one person. That's the thing. I feel like this person was surrounded by a bunch of Judases. That's not what it is, not Judas's, because Judas was the one that got stabbed. But it's like, or I don't know, was he the one that stabbed? Or was he the one that got stabbed? But yeah, you guys will have to tell me in the comment bar. But that's what happened. And so they're more in their own trauma. And it's again, they just feel like there's sorrow, there's distress. They know they let you down. They feel hopeless. They have regret. They're not happy. They're bitter. There is heartbreak. So again, when I ask, it's like, yeah, but this person is bitter. They're angry because it wasn't supposed to work out this way for them. And that's why Spirit says, oh, that's why this person's in their karma. That's why, again, the tower is like there. That's why, again, everything's out, where whatever the facade you created about your life, well, that's not your life. It's like you pretended that was your life. And so you hid behind money, you hid behind whatever it is, but that wasn't your life. And now it's all coming to an end. So in that trauma. So let's ask real specifically before we say, why did you attract this person? Because what I see right here is almost like, I'm conflicted about whether I have what it takes to be your partner. Yeah, because they're like, their life is falling apart. And they're like, I can't come to you. It's like, you don't want me now. You're not going to want me now. You've moved on. You moved on. I needed to fix whatever this was a long time ago. I didn't fix it. I kept getting delayed because I was surrounded by a bunch of people that didn't want me to have my life. And I wasn't strong enough to leave. And so guess what? I'm going to have to leave anyway because everything is crumbling. So they're in their trauma. And that's where they are with you. It's like, I feel like they're just not right now, as far as it is, even if they wanted to be towards you, I feel like they know that they can't, because whatever they're dealing with a lot. And so it wouldn't be that easy. They've made people angry. Trauma, when we create experiences of shame, it's because we had bad behavior. And I feel like this person really thought they were going to be able to get out of a situation, that they were really going to be able to, but they lived a certain way for a long time. When you give up your power, that's what attachment is. You give up your power. And really bad codependent relationships that turn into trauma bonds. And the trauma bonds, so this person only tends to have those type of relationships, and they turn south. They don't sound, they're not staying good. It's so again, I have feelings for you, but this person was never strong. They were never who they said that they were. They're angry. They're angry. They have so much. They just have so much sadness, and that's all that we see here again. Like the heartbroken, sadness, trauma, like all of it. And then we have to say, okay, so why did you attract this person into your life? Because you're a mirror of who and what comes into your life, right? So I'm going to put this card back, but we're also going to pull from the other deck. I'm going to pull 6 and 3. Okay, we have support, card 1, source, card 2, discipline, 3, trauma, 4, and we pulled that again, nurturance, rage, confusion. Those are the inner child cards. At least I do see at least one positive inner child card. That's actually, yeah. Yes, and I'm only gonna pull 3 from this deck because I just want to see what else. Mistrust, anxiety, criticism. Well, I'm feeling like, again, your person doesn't trust anybody. They're full of anxiety. And it's really not because of anything. It's like they can't, they were so afraid to look bad. They were so afraid what everyone else thought that they stayed in a situation for way too long, and so they were looking at the wrong things. So again, this person tends to recreate situations like this, where again, they have a lot of anxiety, they have avoidant issues. This person ruined their life. That's what it looks like, and they know it. So whoever you met before, like I said, now I feel like you're a magnet of who and what comes into your life. We see trauma here twice for you. So that, again, that you grew up with parents that either weren't there for you, they were abusive to you, they were emotionally abusive to you, and it was very confusing. This kept very confusing, and there was a sense of when you're not being raised, or if you're being raised while you're being told what to do continuously, you're not allowed to actually form your own individuality. You're being raised by someone that's full of rage. They're angry at everything. So I feel like you lived very fearfully, and you didn't know how to nurture yourself. You didn't nurture yourself, and you also didn't discipline yourself. And when we don't have parents that are balanced, that come in and teach us how to nurture ourselves, teach us like how to go to school, take care of ourselves, to where we feel supported, loved, all the things that you need to feel when you're a child. Well, the children don't usually then discipline themselves, because what it is that there's no reward for it, first of all. And second of all, it's like the child doesn't have any fun. So the only time that they have fun is to create their own fun. And that's going to be to kind of do it on the sneak. So I feel like you kind of grew up with a parent that was extremely angry, and they criticized you too. There was a lot of emotional abuse, there was psychological abuse, and there was, because there's 2 trauma cards here. So it wasn't just one thing. You could have even been sexually abused, physically abused, like there's a lot of trauma. Like I said, during this time, this person brought up that trauma, but it's mainly because they also were in their trauma, so which mirroring each other. And so when there's unresolved trauma, there would be a lot of rage. And that rage would need to be channeled into purpose and also to learn to nurture ourselves. And I say that because the discipline card here is that to discipline yourself to become something. If we have trauma, well, then there's the part of ourselves that we don't know who we are because we're not our trauma. We're not our rage. We're not our anger. We're not what happened to us. That's not who we are. Now we can walk around like that's who we are, that we're our pain, but you're not your pain. And so Spirit said, well, it was to integrate that rage, and that's what we have to do when we have rage. We have to integrate the spiritual lesson and then utilize the energy to transmute that negative energy by turning it into purpose. And I feel like that's what you did. And why I feel that is because you always had a good connection to source. And that's what happens when we have trauma. We're in the psychic mind, we're in the spiritual mind. We're not grounded, it doesn't feel safe, right? If we're in the fight, flight, freeze, we're disassociated. We're not even in our body, right? Because we didn't feel supported. And I say that because the support, there was no support. So support would be abandonment. And that's what I said. But there was also other things. So emotionally, a parent could be there. I mean, physically, a parent could be there, but psychologically and emotionally abusing that child. So there's still no support because, and what's going to happen is you are going to inherit that rage. It's a behaviorism, unfortunately, that a lot of times is passed down. It's what happens when you are forced to live a certain way and you have to suppress your true self, that God part of self. Then what happens is you get angry. And so that's a normal thing, but we're supposed to do something with that energy. And what we have to do is we have to learn from it. We have to integrate it, see ourselves differently and transmute it. And that takes, again, discipline. Become yourself. You're not your shame. You're not your rage. That's a co-creation process. Only Spirit, the universe, God, whoever you want to call it, can change your mind and your heart by bringing you people, situations, and experiences that help you do so. So during this time, that's what you were doing. You were disciplining yourself to find yourself, to create yourself. And in that, that's a co-creation process. Why? Because you're using the higher self, the God part of self, intuition, and you're, again, interactive in the universe. And again, the universe always brings you exactly what you need, whether you want it or not. Usually, a lot of times, we don't want it. We're like, I don't want that. The Spirit says, yeah, but you need that. You need that to help you evolve into, again, the best version of yourself, which is unconditional love. And that is definitely not rage that comes from trauma, because there was no support. That's not what it is. No support, and no support emotionally. A lot of times that's why people form attachments, and that's why you would have formed the attachment, because the relationship would have went too fast. There would have been an imbalance. So I feel like you didn't do that. You invested in yourself. You poured into yourself. So of course this person is like, they're a little bit bitter, they're a little bit angry, they're a little bit salty, because again, you didn't react, I'm sure, the way that they expected you to. But again, that's on them. Like I said, no, you nurtured yourself. You gave to yourself, you disciplined yourself and said, no, I'm not going to do what I emotionally would want to do, which is obviously spend time with you. If I have a strong spiritual connection, no, I'm going to put it into myself. It's like, because this is too confusing. And it's like, again, because it's confusing, I don't know. That means there's stuff that I don't know. So I'm going to use my discernment. And because you used your discernment, you did a head over heart. This person is really in their full karma, because you're not the buffer. You would have been the buffer for this person, and that would have been your karma. Understand that. Again, not getting anything, and then on top of it, be getting the karmic retribution of somebody that wasn't there for you because they weren't strong enough. They wouldn't intentionally do it, but they're selfish. It's like they're asleep. And that's what Spirit's saying. They're not even half cooked. You know what I mean? It's like you want the chicken fully cooked all the way through. You know, it's like the bread isn't fully cooked. It's like, no, this person's like, nah, they're still healing. It's like they're still have awarenesses, you know, and that means that more negative karmic retribution is going to happen to this person in order for them to wake up. Because we change, but that's what's happening is this person's growing more and more and more bitter. And that's what's making them feel defective. So what Spirit says, no, for you, my friend, it's courage. That is what Spirit wants to end off with, courage. And the reason why Spirit says, say, I am stronger than fear and bigger than doubt. I am light and I remain light. I trust in God and stand tall before the tests of life. This definitely was a test before life. I grow and become wiser through every challenge. I am a being of new life. And Spirit says, this is about new life. You pass the karmic test. Step in to your new life with courage. And again, always stand tall, the tests of life, because, hey, you have Spirit inside of you, supernatural power inside of you, God inside of you. Again, that supernatural power that helps us recognize a soulmate. Hey, I know you. I know that vibe that can transcend time and space. Why we're here. The bigger mission of why we're here is to learn we're not separate from love. And yes, what you had with this person, there was a spiritual connection of love. But Spirit says there was too many shadows here. Too many things that needed healing. And that's also why this person's going to be in pain, because they really did have feelings for you. It's just they couldn't create a good solid connection being broken. But Spirit says this is good for you because you again learned, so you'll never ever ever fall prey to like someone that's a liar. Again, just creating facades and illusions to cover up their real life. You'll never do, because you didn't with this person. And it means that you're now able to step into your new life and attract something that's more in alignment with your true self, your higher self. And you may not know what that is, but the universe does. And the universe says, hey, it's time to have courage and trust in me and have faith. And know that my plan's better than yours. You're limited because of, again, your experiences through the environments that you live. But the universe says, I am all knowing. I will bring you exactly what you need. Have faith. I'm going to leave that there for you, Scorpio. I love you. And I'll talk to you guys soon. And hey, join my wait list. I need people to join my wait list. It's a very exciting thing. I've worked a really long time on. I've really worked a really long time on this. And, you know, it's disheartening. Like when you post up and no one takes interest in your work, but they kind of seem to. And it's like, you know, it's good karma. It's like, you know, why do people clap for the celebrities, but they don't clap for their friends? You know, it's like, as a highly sensitive person, that's something that bothers me. It's like, because I always am there clapping for my friends and always clapping for other people. But it's like, sometimes you don't feel like, and that's again, the walk of the wounded healer, where Spirit is telling me, you don't need anyone to clap. Clap for your damn self. Not the same. I'm just not the same. And Spirit says, well, that's the lesson. It's like when you evolve, you don't care. You put out the energy the best way that you know how, and the universe's plan is better than yours. But I'm like, yeah, but I need people to join my wait list. So you got to join my wait list. my wait list. All right, Scorpio, I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.